none of that matters until they hear praise from you, certainly. Coach kind of deferred, like, I'm not ready to talk about the Lakers. We'll talk about that in a second. Can you just gush about this team? I mean, such a huge long shot, and what you appreciated watching their run to get to this position.
Yeah, and Kenny, what I saw out of this team even before the shutdown, I saw a team coming together in February and March that I thought at that time was the best passing team in the league. I thought it was the smartest team in the NBA. I think Eric Spoelstra, going into this bubble, was one of the top 5 coaches. I now think he is the best coach in the NBA. When they got to the restart and got down to the bubble, though, I started to see a team, and I said this before the Milwaukee series, I said I wouldn't be shocked if this team makes it all the way to the finals. That's how connected they were playing. And here's what they do so well. They do the basics at a really high level. And by basics, I mean they never hang anybody out to dry defensively. So they can trust each other, I think, at a higher level defensively as teammates than any other team in the NBA. They're there for help and recover. They don't miss assignments. They make sure they double when they're supposed to. They make sure they don't leave you on an island. Offensively, they just don't miss the open guy. They make sure it goes to the next available open player, and they trust that guy to make a shot. So the word trust, I think, is something that comes to mind when I think of this team before anything else. I played 10 years in the league, and I played on some teams that didn't trust each other very much. It's a very difficult thing to come by, and it's something that they have at a really high level. And he talked about the competitiveness. I think trust goes right there with that. This is a very special group, and do not underestimate them against the Lakers.
They kind of rotated who was going to be the hero, and Hero was one of them from time to time through this series and through the playoffs. But Bam Adebayo, John just showed the highlight, made that big block to finish off game 1, and then he stepped up huge in the fourth quarter to get this win.
Yeah, it's a luxury to have a center that can handle the ball like this. I mean, he's such a versatile player. He's such a tough matchup. And when you saw what happened in the fourth quarter, when that team fell behind 6, it was Bam Adebayo that basically took over the game. And he did it with, you know, obviously his force and athleticism around the rim is going to be there every night. But where he really was special was handling the basketball and taking advantage of opportunities to attack Daniel Tice in particular. And you can see from a foot speed standpoint, there's just no way Tice can keep up with that. And Bam showed you the full array. He made plays off the dribble with passing. He hit a short pull-up. He took the ball all the way to the rim. He made free throws when he had to. He gave you 14 rebounds on the defense end of the floor. So his performance tonight, I think, was indicative of how far he has come. He has gone from being a guy that you looked at as a role player who finally got an opportunity to start, and now he's gone to the most improved player in league, in my opinion, even though he didn't win it this year, to now a bona fide all-star moving forward, I think, perennially. And he took over that game like a star would in the fourth quarter and really helped deliver them to the finals. So you can't say enough about what he did in this one.
Coach wasn't in the mood to look at the matchup with the Lakers just yet, but I bet you he's up late breaking down film, or at least early in the morning. What's your first look at that next series? Lakers, huge favorites to take down this Heat team.
Yeah, and here's why it's a difficult proposition for Miami, but I don't think it's something that they can't pull off. But the big problem is, listen, the Lakers have the 2 best players in the series. That's an issue. And they're 2 guys that are also super dynamic because they can beat you in any way. And I just think Anthony Davis is going to be the toughest matchup for them. You know, Bam Adebayo has got to provide a lot of rim protection. Well, you've got to go out and guard Anthony Davis all over the floor as well, so that's going to be an issue. I think if Miami can pull it off, they've got to force the Lakers into a 3-point shooting team. That is still the weakness for that group. That zone could play into that. And then a big question I have for the Heat as well is, can Goran Dragic and Tyler Hero be as good against the defensive pressure they're going to see from the Lakers as they have been to this point? That's going to be a key element. And then finally, why do you go out and get a guy like Andre Iguodala? You get him for a series like this when he can take on a guy like LeBron James. Nobody is going to stop LeBron. But what you can do in those moments when you have to have single coverage on him, who can do the best job of just at least making him less efficient? And I think Andre Iguodala might be the best guy for that role. They went out and got him, a veteran player. You saw him tonight even. He chipped in offensively in a big way. But I think his defense on LeBron will be a factor. But I think more than anything, it's going to be Miami's zone against the Lakers. That's how you bottle up the force of LeBron in the paint. That's how you bottle up an Anthony Davis. You can converge on the paint and try to force this team into shooting certainly more threes than they had to against Denver. I think that is going to be the key to the entire series. Can the Lakers role players make enough threes on a given night, because I think Eric Spoelstra is going to force them to shoot them.
Jim Legler, always good working with you. Looking forward to the championship series as well.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.